Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. 427 2020. Welcome this morning. Hi, Mavry. You guys know what to do by now. Y'all are pros now. So I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to clock in as I say good morning and hi. Brianna Garcia, Lena Frias, hey JoJo, Lauren Rivera, Cassie Graff, Chloe Long, Annalisa Ciliano, Marina Flag, Kayla Langford, Promise to Go, Carmen Pacheco, Katie Foe, Brenna Womack, Jana Estes, Emily Molina, Cord Edwards, hi Cord, Shanzi, Sarina Tijarina, hi Zuli, Jessica Cardina, Sam Slottish, Brianna Barnes, Marie Lord, Hannah Broadway, Jen Orr, hi Jen, Yasmin, hi Stacy, Alexia Lazo, Connie Ramos, Taylor Campbell. Good morning to all of you guys. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Barbie, Amber Crum, Sydney, Armenia. Got a lot of Ludwig in the house. Good morning, E. Hi, Destiny. Hi, Chandler. Hi, Gracie. Hope everyone's having a wonderful morning this morning. I slept really, really good last night, so I have a lot of energy right now, but I don't know how I'm going to feel later on after this lazy day number. I guess this is number, I don't know. It's been over a month. I stopped counting. So hopefully you guys are staying safe, enjoying the time off. Hopefully we'll be back soon and we'll be able to get back to business. But until then, we have our distance learning, which is great. Trying to be enthusiastic. I don't have an essential oil right now. I woke up a little bit late. I slept in for the first time in a long time this morning. So sleeping in for me is like, I'm gonna say 7:38. I usually get up at 5:30 every morning. So, all right. So today we're gonna start off on a whole new chapter. We are done with our learning or our distance learning for. I'm sure y'all are excited. That little chemistry chapter. It stressed me out a little bit, but I learned a lot from teaching it. Hope you guys did too. Hope you made sure to record any notes and any information you have, put them in a notebook. It's going to be required upon your return to school. Don't forget that you have to have handwritten assignments along with the worksheets, along with any other, I guess, videos or pictures that you have. So just make sure that you're compiling everything. And I know, right? And take the time to just get everything organized by binder and take as many notes. Try to be in as many lives as you can because that also counts as a grade. And just keep in mind that we have to prove these once we go back. We can't just say, hey, we did lives every day for our students and a lot of them joined in, but we don't know which ones. We actually have to have that proof in order to give you guys the credit and the hours for it. So I don't mean to sound like a minor bird when I say how important it is for you guys to tune in, but hopefully we'll be back in the building soon. So today I'm going to go over the parts of a resume. I'm going to do the introduction to that, and then you're going to join Molly and Katie later for their lives. So make sure you tune into all the lives you can today. Make sure you take notes. If there is a worksheet, check your email. Sometimes it'll end up in your spam. But, you know, y'all are tech savvy by now. All right. So in a nutshell, what I want to go over with you is how to build a resume. Because a lot of students ask me, especially younger students, they say, I've never had a resume. I don't know how to build one. I'm going to give you just the simplest, easiest form of resume. And this is mainly for our industry or any industry. If you want a job somewhere, you have to provide some kind of resumes or information as a resume. Most of that is done electronically. Sometimes they want it written, just depending on where you're applying. Hi, Lauren. Hi, Allison. I'm seeing all y'all's names. Hi, Deja. Stacy said I'm diffusing sweet orange right now. Oh, yes, I love that one. That's one of my favorites too. Yes. All right, so if y'all want to plug in whatever you're diffusing, I'd love to read it. I'm going to try to multitask for you today, but I love sweet orange. Thank you for that, Stacy. All right, so what I'm going to go over, and we're just going to break this down so we can simplify it, because ultimately I know that Wendy's going to want you guys to turn in some kind of resume. And the reason why this is so important is because there is a lot of information out there because of social media and everything, but a resume is something that is pertinent to you and your individuality as a hairstylist, as a nail technician, as an esthetician, as a movie director. Whatever you do in life is going to require you at some point to have a resume, especially if you're applying for jobs. Now, a lot of my senior students who are getting ready to graduate or who have graduated need to understand that a resume is very, very pertinent to your success or in getting into the salon of your choice. You can't just walk in because you're cute like me and say, oh, I can do hair. I'm really good. I'm a badass, y'all. I am. So if I go into the salon down the street and say, look, I'm really, really good at hair, just take my word for it. They're not going to probably laugh at me. They probably won't do it until I leave, but they want some kind of written something to secure in that fact that they can at least see that, yes, I have talent. Yes, I have achieved and accomplished this, and this. So we're going to do the simple form. All I'm doing with you guys today is giving you a chance to write down some short notes about the contact info. And then we're going to go in depth to how the body of the resume and all of that. So I'm going to cover that with you today. So grab pen and paper, and this is going to be quick and sweet. And you will have a worksheet over this. Best believe Miss Wendy Baldwin is going to find some kind of worksheet to give you guys. Ooh, she says, Tabitha says, I prefer incense burning, LOL Rose. Okay. I like incense too. Incense tend to be a little too more saturation in the air for me, Tabitha, but like I have a big house. So if I did an incense, it would be like somewhere. So yes, I love incense too. All right. I'm just looking. Okay. So the main parts of a resume, I'm going to go ahead and give you the first notes. This is going to be 1 through 5. So you can go ahead and write this down, and we're going to go over each one. And this is just the contact info part of this lesson. I'm not giving you a bunch of extra work to do because, we got to do this a little bit at a time. Because sometimes a resume can make or break your chances of getting employed. And the reason why I say that is because I've seen a lot of resumes or people that submit them that don't have this right. And once this is not right, this is the first thing someone sees. This is the first thing a recruiter or a manager or a salon owner sees. And if this doesn't match, I'm probably not going to even consider you for an interview. So this is how important this part is, right? No, McKenna, we are not turning this in. You're going to compile this because there's going to be 2 more lives today. So this is the first part of job search or professional job building chapter, whatever you want to call it. But this is a parts of a resume. All right. Very good. So let's talk about number 1, full name. Your full name, not your, street name or your nickname or your, Instagram name. It has to be your birth given name. You don't have to do your middle initial, your middle name, but first and last. So for instance, my name is Kimberly Bellinger, okay? I could do Kim Bellinger. A lot of people named Kim that don't have Burley at the end. But if I'm of a certain age in a certain demographic that I'm trying to get a job, I'm going to make sure to put my name, Kimberly Bellinger, okay? And I'm going to show you some formats that I came up with. Second one is your cell phone number. Not your boyfriend's cell phone number, not your mom's, not a landline, some number that you can be personally reached. Someone can call or text your number. So no trap phones. All right. The next one is your address. Now, contrary to popular belief, people used to want your physical home address. You don't have to give that out. You can just say Del Valle, Texas 78777. You don't have to give out your physical address because you have your email, which is going to be okay. Most people don't even really ask for your physical address unless you get hired and they need to mail something to you. So 4 is email. We're going to talk about that. And 5 is social media. So those are the 5 things that you need in your contact info. Again, we're going to have questions over this. And the reason why we need to go over this is because, just like Destiny says, some employers might not employ you because of where you live. Example, exactly. If you live too far from this, yes. And that's why the physical address is not such a big idea. I mean, not such a big thing anymore. It used to be when I was looking for a job back in the day, you had to have your physical address. But now because of the email address and the World Wide Web, all right? Okay, so let's talk about the first one. Let's talk about your resume, just in itself. Does everybody know what a resume is? What is a resume? That sounds like a French word. A resume is, I'm not going to write this, you don't have to write this, but if you Google it, a document used and created by a person to present their background, okay? Not just their professional background. Nowadays, people want to see your personal life. So their background, skills, and accomplishments. Resumes are used to secure employment, contain a summary of job experience and education. So this is just a little short synopsis, a little snapshot into your life. So you have to make that count. I would do no more than 1 page for my resume. Okay, 1 page. And the reason why I say that is because if you're a person of a lot of words, you're long-winded, you like to write and flowery, I guarantee you 20% of that resume is not going to even be read. So make sure that you condense it down and simplify it. 1 page, to the point, a document to present your personal, a little bit of your personal life is always awesome because that humanizes you. All right. And so when you have your full name and your cell number and your email address, you're giving out that part of your life to somebody that you plan on working for or with. Okay. And it needs to be a summary. So I want you guys to let that be your operative word, is summary, not a bunch of extra nonsense that nobody wants to read. Just a quick summary of the relevant job experience and education. And when I say relevant, I don't mean something that I'm a 30-year-old, I'm going to give you the job that I had when I was 15. That's not relevant probably to what you're doing now unless it's the same job type, okay? So make sure it's relevant. And then I'm going to tell you guys this and I'm going to write it so you don't remember anything else I say in this whole life. Remember this. Before you go looking for a job in that little posh salon, you think you're cute, you better do this one thing. And I will tell my children this because I feel like y'all are my children. But first thing you need to do is go through all of your social media accounts, your Instagram, your Twitter, your Facebook, your whatever, and clean them up. Wipe them clean. Wipe them down. Because I guarantee you, Joanna, she's an instructor at Baldwin. You will not see nude pictures of her on her social media websites. And she's on a bunch of them. So I just clean it up. Okay. When I say clean it up, just, you know what I mean by that. I don't want to call anybody out for their extracurricular activities. But then I can tell you there's some things that are offensive. Like some people don't think it's it's offensive to be at a party with a beer in your hand, drinking. To some salon owners or professionals, that's not appropriate. It's just not. So you have to really think about the audience that you're trying to impress and clean up your social media. So number one, if you have any provocative pictures, any types of profanity in your posts, anything inappropriate videos, inappropriate gang signs or friends in the background, get rid of them. Seriously, I had my friend, I took a picture of my very best friend. We were at Snooze and she was standing behind me. We took a little selfie and she just decided to shoot the middle finger. I had to get rid of that. I thought that was cute when I posted it, but I realized I gotta get rid of that. That's inappropriate. Even though that's probably something you guys would say that's not a big deal, but to some people it is. Okay, so let me hear, delete them. Yes, delete them. And then again, you also want to make sure that if you do have a social media page like Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, that I don't want to say delete inappropriate people, but maybe not let them pop up in your feed. So there's a way to do that. Kayla Langford says, what if our profiles are private and they can't see anything? I don't have anything offensive. Well, good question, Kayla. You might want to create a business one. So keep that one just in case they want to see that one, but also create your business one. And it's okay to have two separate ones. But I have a personal account. All of my accounts are personal on Facebook or whatever. I don't post pictures. I'm not, so I have one account. So I want to make sure that one account, if I'm looking for a job, is appropriate. So you don't have to create another account, but if you're actively wanting to be taken seriously and have that credit for being a professional, I would just have my personal account that's clean and then my professional account that's clean. So that means all of your little potty mouth friends that comment, any types of memes that can be considered distasteful or politically incorrect, whether you think that, just gotta be careful. All right. So clean up your social media accounts. All right. So let's talk about the first contact information. And I'm going to write this out so you can have this. Again, I'm not going to do hard note taking today because I'm sitting. So the first thing you need is your full name. We have a lot of account names, email names, nicknames, but your full name is you want people to identify you by. For example, if your name is Kimberly, and you want to go by Kim, that's Kim Bellinger. That's my name, Kimberly Bellinger. But nobody calls me Kimberly. Wendy calls me Kimberly. Okay. So if I want to be known by that name, I need to let her know in my resume, my full name is Kim Bellinger. I prefer Kim. So you want to make sure that you do that. Full last name, not necessarily a middle name or initial. And then you want to make sure that you spell it correctly. So if you're a guy and your name is William and you want to go by Bill Stewart, spelled correctly. And then another thing you want to do under your contact information for your name is write this down. You want to use the same name on all your job search material. Okay. You don't want to have different aliases and use your name with your middle initial every now and then, because that can be confusing to a potential employer. You want to just use the same name, especially if you're applying for a job, because people are going to check and they find discrepancies. They tend to think, oh, well, you're hiding something. So you're not who you say you are. All right. Let's see. Alana Ledwig. They ask you to follow it still. Yes. Deja says, I've done a lot of gigs too on my resume. Yes. Make sure I describe how the gig is relevant to what I'm applying for. Yes, you'd be surprised how much you can see from a private account. Crystal Hartman, you're exactly right. And I'm going to tell you a little known secret. Most employers will go to your private account before they'll go to your professional account just to see what you look like. And it's not necessarily to snoop on you or check on you. They just want to put a name to the face, and then they just get there, happen to scroll. So if you've got a mugshot on there, JK. All right. So make sure you use your first name, okay, and last name. Use the name on all of your job search material. Now let's talk about this one. Because for me, I've been in the beauty school industry for quite a long time, and I've known a lot of students to either have one or not have one or switch it up. Your cell phone number, sorry. Okay. Your cell phone number is your lifeline to job employment. And emails are great, but how often do we sit and check our emails? We don't watch for new emails to come in. I don't look at a lot of mine until I sit down and I check them all. So your cell phone is going to be that lifeline to that person that you want to connect with. If you're one of those people that don't answer your phone because you've got a lot of people calling you for money or bill collectors or ex-boyfriends, then you need to get a cell phone number that's different from your personal number. And they have little to-go phones. I forget what they're called. I think they're like track phones or something. And you give that number out because that direct access to you is so important. And if I am interested in hiring you based on your look, I want to hear your voice. So I'm going to probably want to do a phone interview before I even tell you to drive in. And that's another important thing about cell phones, because you can text, which is great, but at some point you're going to have to meet face to face. And I think that I would probably feel more comfortable if I heard that person's voice over a cell phone. Mugshots. Hey, Barbie, I'm just saying, no, we're not all perfect. We're not all little angels. Some of y'all might have, stuff out there floating around in the world. Just remember, it stays out there, so you don't want it to come back to haunt you. All right, so your cell phone. Best to include your cell phone. If it's an out-of-state phone, please make sure you include the area code. If you need $1 or whatever, you can do that. All right, let's talk about our next contact, because I don't want to, okay. This is your address. This is where you live or you reside. A lot of people do not give out their addresses, their physical addresses, until they get hired. So you don't have to include this on your resume, but if your employer decides to ask you for it, that's probably because you haven't put down, like your city, state, and zip code. So your physical address is not really needed because your email address is going to be probably the better way to contact you. So for your address, what you want to do is you want to put your city, state, and zip code. Some people have PO boxes, which you could still. So for your address part of your resume, you don't have to say 7777 Rocky Lane. You could say, Austin, Texas, 78777. That's it. Give me some reasons why you would not want to give your physical address. Why wouldn't you? I'm curious to know your thoughts on that. Oh, Allison Seeper says, my ex used my number years ago and I still get spam with his name. Yes. Time for a new number. If you've got a phone plan with your ex or your friend or your cousin, just get your own phone number, you know, stalkers, safety, spams, don't want a stalker. Yes, yes, you don't want anyone knowing where you live. If the resume gets into the wrong hands, people can, yep, load you up with scams, safety reasons. A lot of stalkers in the world. Watch way too much Criminal Minds. Me too, Mabry. And I'm the type of person, I don't want the world to know where I live. Like I will not, I'll tell you in the vicinity, but if I give you my physical address, like the numbers to where I live, to my home, what are the odds? Lauren Garbedian says, I'm watching Criminal Minds in the background right now. Yes. And another thing, there's really no need because they're not going to come to your house and look at what kind of flooring you have. All right. So then the next one, let's talk about your email address. Now, I'm guilty. Jeremy called me out on it. When I first started learning how to use my email, I created a couple of addresses. I've got one for Google. I've got one for Yahoo. And I didn't really realize you can't have a bunch of them. Like you have to have one or two, or, you can't have a bunch of different email addresses. So every time I try to log in, I wouldn't know my passcode and I'd forget. So it's a hot mess. So finally got myself settled. But this is probably going to be the best way to contact people. It's also just the wave of the future. People deal with emails now, even more so than text messages, because what an email is, it's more than just a conversation. It actually is a letter stating the purpose of what you need and want or questions. So your email address needs to be up to date. And please make sure your email address isn't, hotbody@gmail.com or, bigbootygirl@yahoo.com. Don't have an email that is not professional. Okay. All right. So Kayla says, I have 3 emails. My Yahoo's for shopping, and she has a professional one with her name. Yes, because now she has to change it. But it's pretty common to have 2 emails. I think more than 2 is a little much. She said, butterfly girl, Shannon C. Okay, that's cute. But I would probably change that, Shannon C. I don't know. It just feels like something that is not telling me much about you. So if you want to put your name in your email, that's fine. What I would prefer to see if I'm hiring somebody, I at least want to know your name. So for instance, Annalisa Ciliano, if Annalisa wants to put a Ciliano at yahoo.com, I would like that. Okay, so y'all need to think of email names. If you've got these little cutesy email names, that's fine. But try to think of a professional one. Like Joanna said, it's just not considered professional. I mean, Butterfly Girl is cute, but it's just not something that's going to catch my attention. I'd rather see a name like Barbie Ellison at yahoo.com or Joanna Beaver at gmail.com because I know, or even if it's your last name first. Okay, so clean up those emails. Create a new email address that is dedicated to your job search. Okay, not your fun life, not your personal life, not your kids. And this is going to give you valuable networking contacts because that way you have that compilation and you don't get confused. Okay, and if it's an old email account, go ahead and update it. Nothing wrong with that. But again, you can have your personal one, but you also have to have your professional one so that people can contact you for your job search and that you know that email is going to the right place. Because if you check your email. Shanzy said, I promise my email isn't butterfly. Okay, good. But that's cute. I mean, it's all good. All right, so the next one. Here's the topic, and I've gotten into arguments with like young people over this one. Is your social media. This is how most people find you. Is your social media because you put yourself out there like that. Young people, Old people, middle-aged, we're all out there on social media. I love social media. I am not a hater of social media. I think if it needs to be used responsibly for some people, but this is the first, I feel like, connection that you are going to have with the potential employer. They're going to go to your social media page. All right. If I want to date somebody, I'm going to go to their social media page. I'm going to go there first because I'm just going to, first of all, want to see what they look like. Okay. Your social media is going to determine whether you get even an interview or a phone call. I'm going to that's just probably as bluntly as I can put it. Joanna's saying 2012 is the year I got married, so it's easier to, okay, whatever. What are you talking about? Oh, Joanna. All right. Yeah, 2012. See? And that's her name, Joanna Bieber, marriage, gmail.com. Perfect. Something you can, that's a good point, JoJo. Something you can remember. Okay. So your social media is going to be what people look at first. I hate to be the one to tell you this, but before they look at your your professional portfolio on Instagram, your pictures, they're going to go to your social media page, which is going to be your Facebook, maybe your Instagram, maybe your Twitter page, or any other social media outlet where you have your personal life posted. Number one, they want to see what you look like. They want to get a visual idea of what you look like. Okay, whether you've got old pictures are up or new pictures are up. Number two, they want to see the content of your personality. They want to check you out. They want to see if you have pictures of your kids, if you have pets, if you like nature, or if you're a homebody, or if you craft certain things. They want to know a little bit more about you. And then they're going to look at everything else. So if you have a bunch of pictures of yourself out with friends and drinking and partying all the time, if I'm looking at your social media page and I don't know you, I'm going to automatically think that you're partying all the time. I don't want this kind of person working for me. They're not going to be able to get up early, right? Am I right? Hey, Tay Tay. Melissa Martinez says social media is like a background check. She's absolutely right, you guys. I couldn't have said it better. Somebody said it. McKenna Klecker says, also post pictures from school. It shows that you care about hair. They don't care. That is 100% perfect word. That's right. She's like, post your pictures in school. They don't want to see perfection. They want to see you doing stuff. Okay. All right. Destiny says, don't add your bosses on Snap so they can't see you getting drunk the night before you go to work. Okay, Destiny. That's probably a good advice to give. All right. Promise says, you're able to search your Twitter username and click on news to see if any of your tweets were featured in any news links, good or bad. Employees will, yes, they will definitely check that out. So be careful. Those of you that get angry and want to do angry posts, be careful of that. You need to make sure that you choose your words so that you can still be angry but not disrespectful. All right. Another thing, you guys, people will also, and I don't know why, but it's just human nature. They'll look at the friends. So they'll go into your life in a second step, and they'll look at the people that you're associated with. They'll look at some of your friends. Yes, and if you say, hey, I don't know this person, or this person is not a good, or maybe that person used to work there, just got to be careful of the type of comments that your friends leave in your social media. Make sure that, again, you keep it clean. If you have something to say, then you do that in a personal message to whomever. A lot of cuss words, y'all, that's kind of tacky. So if you post with a lot of potty mouth cuss words, be careful. All right. So your social media, only mention accounts related to your profession. So if I was going to open a social media account today, I would only include pictures of my students. If I was looking for a job as a teacher or an instructor, I would include, if I had posts and pictures up, my students' work, maybe some pictures of me teaching, maybe some pictures of other instructors. It's got to be relevant to what I'm doing. So if you are a hairstylist looking for a salon, you need to be posting pictures, like McKenna said, of your work at school, or your friend's hair, if it turns out beautifully, that you do at home because that's your best friend. You need to keep your profession in check and not deviate away from that when you're dealing with your social media, because there's your personal social media and there is your professional. And I know a lot of successful stylists who build their clientele based on their Instagram, because all they do is post their work. They might post a little cute picture of themselves every now and then, but they mostly post their work. All right. Common sense, people. Yes. McKenna says, I don't care if you were partying all night, but if you just didn't show up now. Okay. Yes. Destiny says, I always use filter settings on who can see what. And that's why I block my bosses on everything. All right. And you can do that. You can still have your personal life and you can just kind of adjust your page, your social media page, where certain people can't see. But chances are you're not going to be able to keep up with that. So I would keep that separate. I would keep my professional account separate from my personal. But I have a boring personal life. I like to show pictures of my palm trees and, my little niece and nephew. So I'm cool. All right. Now we're going to talk about the format of your resume. So what I would like you to do is, if you haven't at this time, just get 3 blank pieces of paper, 3 blank sheets of paper, maybe 4, and a pencil, because you're going to probably need to erase, because I'm going to show you the types of formats that you can use for your resume that's eye-catching and that gets a little bit more attention. Remember, your resume doesn't need to be a cover letter and a letter and a letter. Chances are I'm not going to read a 3-page resume if I'm hiring. It needs to be 1 page. And there used to be a requirement of a picture. If you want to include a picture, that's fine. A lot of salon resumes don't require them because of the social media. Again, they're going to look at what you look like on your social media. So if you do post pictures of yourself on social media, be cute in them. Like, be cute. Don't be all like, with your tongue hanging out and whatever. Make them tasteful. I love seeing pictures of moms and children or dogs or something cute so they can see you. And don't do them so far away all the time. Okay. Jessica Cardenas, I've learned not to add my boss because things get misinterpreted. Yes, it's probably a good idea. If you work for someone, even if y'all have a cool relationship, it's just not good to mix business with pleasure. Okay. Now, y'all can add me all day. I don't really care what you do. I mean, I don't have a Snapchat though. I'm not a Snapchat. I'm too old for it. But I do have an Instagram and a Facebook. Any of my students, if you guys want to message friend me or whatever, I'll accept you because, I'm your teacher. And that's kind of sometimes a different way for people to get to know you too. And those of you that don't have my number, you can always message me on Facebook. All right. So let's talk about format. So what I have is 3 examples of different formats for your header, your contact information. Remember, we're just talking about that. We're not talking about the body or the content of your resume. We're just doing the contact information part. So I've come up with 3 examples. If you guys are like lost, that I feel, and I hand wrote these, you guys. So let me hold example number 1. Okay. This is example number 1. This is if I were doing a resume, how I might format it. And notice that I have my first initial and last name. Okay. This is going to be eye-catching because my last name for some people is hard to pronounce. My first name is easier. And then below it in a smaller font. And again, the font just use it. But the bold part is my name. That's what I want. No. First name K, last name Bellinger. And then I just made up a little. That's not my real one. So all you creepers online, that's my real email, but not my real phone number. So you want to start with your email address. Make sure it has your name. So it's the same. Notice how I have KM, my middle initial, bellinger@yahoo.com. And then my phone number below that. All right. And then city, state, and zip code. All right. So that's just one. What'd you say, Brenna? Always has inspiring. Aw, thanks, Brenna. Okay, that's one example. That's one way to do it. There's a million ways to make an omelet. That's just one. Okay, so that's my first one. My personal favorite because I kind of like my last name being the focal point. All right, so example number 2. You guys want to just take pictures. Here's another format that you can use. All right, and this is just my name. Not all caps, but you still see my name first, Kimberly Bellinger, comma, and the CI stands for cosmetology instructor. If you're an MBA, if you're an attorney, you could say Kimberly Bellinger, attorney. Okay. And then over to the side in a smaller font, I have my phone number on top, my email, and then not my physical address, but Austin, Texas. Again, creepers, this is not my real phone number, so please don't try to call it. Or yeah, try to call it. You won't get me. All right. So notice how with this one, and this is handwritten. You can use anything on your computer, any template, but I professionally want to see a name and then what you do. So if you're a cosmetologist, you could put Kimberly Bellinger, or stylist, hairstylist, nail technician. All right. As long as it has something out to the side. And I would present this if I was applying for a job as an instructor at another cosmetology school, which I would never do because I love Baldwin and you guys so much. You like that one, Christy? Yeah. And Destiny, stop. All right. So again, it was number 1. I'll put these 2 side to side. So you can decide which one you like. And then I'm going to go ahead and do number 3. And this one is kind of one of my favorites too, but it's a little bit more inviting because there's my full name in all caps. This font or this particular format is particularly eye-catching if you're one of those people that are very, very extroverted. It just kind of like puts you out there boldly. Full name. I'm not going to add a middle initial because that's just too much. Just first and last, full name, and then all of my information in a smaller font at the bottom. And you will always want to start this format with your email. And then phone number, then address. Y'all like this one? Yes. Thank you, Allison. I try, girl. It comes from teaching and writing on the board. But this was not done on my computer. I actually handwrote this. So those are the 3 formats that you can use for your own resume. Resume should include something personal about you. All right. Whenever you do a resume, after the contact information, we're going to go over what you need next. The contact information is so important. So before I let you guys go, it's 10:44. Let's go ahead. If y'all have any questions, simple and sweet, like JoJo said. Yes, I'm not going to make you do a bunch of extra work. Why would you need a whole cover letter or a motivational speech about yourself? That is going to be done in the interview process. A lot of people today are looking for quick, easy, and simple. So, yes, Yasmin, you like that one? Good. Alana says, make sure you are typing it and use an easy to read font. Nothing fancy. Exactly. And that's why I wanted to do mine in my own handwriting. And I don't have a printer, but I wanted to make sure that the font was easily to read, easy to read. So you don't want to use like a fancy, curvy font. Good observation, Alana. Yes, Midian. All right. So Shanzi, does the salon industry ask for cover letters often? I feel like they don't. No, they do not. Good question, Chan. They don't. That was back in the day. They used to require one, and there's no need for a cover letter. Your resume should be one page. Yes. You like the second format? Yeah. The second one, I did that one, and I thought, oh, that was kind of cute. Because sometimes you just want to be a professional. And that's your professional format. Like if you're a chef or a sous chef or something, I would use a format like that because I would want people to know, what does the CI stand for? Cosmetology instructor. All right. Mabry says if you're currently employed, you need to tell them that so they know. Then they can call or email you. Yes, exactly. And being currently employed doesn't necessarily X you out for employment. I would probably rather have somebody who is working full time and has a full time job that's ready to make a change than somebody who's just been chilling for 6 months. All right. Marie likes the second one. Oh, y'all like the second one. Okay. So I hope that I was able to, okay, Mary Helen says, I used to be a manager, and if you find a template you like that has something eye-catching about it, goes a long, long way. I always remember the resumes that wasn't, yes. She's saying she just remembered the ones that weren't just plain and blank. They actually had a little character to them. So I hope I was able to encourage you guys. I'm an artsy person, so I would have loved to have made like my K with little flowers on it. But don't do that. Don't bedazzle your resumes with superfluous stuff on the page. The easier it is to read, the more effective it is. So if you want to use a different color paper, that's always a plus. Preferably something eye-catching, a color that is calming and not too bold or bright. Allison says, yes, I like to use a template that's personalized. Yes, they have a lot of personalized templates that you will like. That is just 3 little examples. And Mabry says, when I took a few classes in business, we were told to make your name a bold color. Yeah, not red, but blue or purple. Yes, your name has to stand out. That's the important thing. That's why I wanted to show you those 3 examples is because your name has to be what they see first. So even in this one where my name is not all in caps, my name is still bold. You can still see that first. And then my information. Okay, so name, then my information. And that's the focal point to a good resume. Doesn't matter like how artsy you get with it, but don't add a lot of extra stuff. Yes, Mary Helen saying if you can turn one in personally or bring it, that's, that works. But most resumes nowadays are going to be done electronically. They'll tell you to email it. So make sure that, you have that email address. So really quickly, before I let you guys go, let's just kind of recap. What are the 5 things that should be in your contact information? That's going to be answer in the live chat. Go. 5 things. Well, what did we go over? The 5 parts of a resume for the contact information. So the 5 things you need for your contact information. Squeaky Will gets the yes, Jana. And Mabry says, always bring your resume, a copy to your personal interview. Yes, excellent. Very good point. All right, here we go. Shanzi, full name, cell number, address, email, social media. Okay. Name, address. Yep. Name, cell number. Very good. Very good. And some of you are probably going, well, what if I don't have an email address? Create one. Create one today. Get on your computer, get on your phone, do what you got to do to create one. Gaps, can we use instructors as a reference? Oh, good question. I normally let students use Wendy because she's the school owner, or Randy. Sometimes instructors can be viewed as showing favoritism if we do that. So that's kind of a tricky thing for us. So for me, the answer is no, because if I did it for one, I need to do it for all. So if you need a reference from the school, you can always just ask Wendy and she'll do that. All right. Good job, you guys. Okay, so let's do a final roll call and I will let you guys go back and enjoy this beautiful day. I hope that I have enlightened you and given you some quick little tips on how you can make a good resume. Thank you, Rihanna. You're welcome. All right. You're welcome, Vicki. And it's been a great morning. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. So as you guys are timing out right now, I'm going to bring you, you're welcome. You're so welcome, Tabitha. Bye, you guys. Bye. Bringing you all the love in this world. Hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful rest of your day.